Hi, I'm Rob Petrosian, CEO of SemiNeedle, company responsible for SemiNeedle. Today I want to share with you how to build a social media site. Let's use this existing site on SemiNeedle called SSL Exchange to demonstrate this. SSL Exchange is a site that's been created. It's a fully branded site to facilitate collaboration among professionals involved in the solid-state lighting area. The site's been designed to have a section for sales items, for purchase items. Members actually post these, an area where you can talk about your companies involved in SSL, have some industry blogs, a forum for discussion area, a member section, and some additional areas. Meanwhile, on the home page, you're able to see some snippets of some of these sections, the latest postings and content and discussions happening on the site. In order to see how this was built, let's first actually build one social media site from scratch and then see how you configure and customize it to eventually look like this. To create a social media site, it's quite straightforward. When you log into SemiNeedle, you select the Sites tab, you click on this Start a New Site button. The system will list you the different sites that are possible on the site. You select social media site and you click on continue. The social media sites are very powerful with lots of functionalities available to you, but you don't need to tackle all of them right up front. There are essentially 4 or 5 items that need your attention first. Then you can publish it in draft mode, review it, and start iterating the setting of other parameters one at a time to get familiar, and only at the end you can actually start publishing your site. So let's actually start filling in some of this information. So I'm going to fill in a name, short description. I'm going to say a company that's responsible for this site. I'm going to pick a category. I'm going to specify solid state lighting, and I'm going to scroll down without having to bother with the rest. This is one item. I'm going to say it's a full screen, and that's it. I'm ready now to actually save what I've done as draft and preview the beginning of my social media site. So within 30 seconds, literally, I can have a site up and running, and now I can see I have a site. It's got number of tabs on it, it's got number of sections on it, and now I can go back into the edit mode and actually start iterating and turning on other features, turning some of the other features off. Come here, move into edit page style, start dragging this column back and forth, changing colors, and really configuring it to my needs. So let's go back now to the original SSL Exchange site and go behind the scene and see how that site was crafted. We're now back to the SSL Exchange social media site. Now what I'm going to do is access this administration menu. Since I have been identified as an admin of this site, I actually have access to this menu which other members don't necessarily have. One of the options in here is edit this site. Edit this site will bring up an editor and will show me all the different parts of the site and how it's being configured. Very quickly you'll see that this is a place that we uploaded the logo for the site. That's how you end up with that logo here. As I scroll down through this page, you will see there's an area for putting a full description about the site. This is a piece of content that will show up in the top left area of your site. You can include images, video, color, or just simple bullet points. You can format your text. You can include news RSS feeds if you want to. You can customize some of the email templates. For example, if you want to welcome your members with a specific email, you could actually customize a welcoming message here and specify who the email should be sent out. This is where you turn on the key elements of your social media site. So you say, I want to have an audio video section. I want to have a blog section. In the blog section, you can bring in syndicated third-party blogs, or you can have employees of your company become members and then start blogging, and you can turn on their blogs. You can change the order by which these blogs show up. You can turn on events if you're going to host events. Very powerful tool. You can turn on chat rooms. In this case, we've turned on some custom postings. That's how we are going to allow our members to post items for sale, items for purchase, forums for discussion, and some resources. You can turn on a Twitter area. lot of capabilities, but the good thing is you don't have to nail this all right up front. You are just iterating. So as long as you haven't published your site, you can come and turn one of these sections on, publish it, go back, see what it is. If you like it, keep it. If not, change it. And even once after it's been published, you incrementally can always come back and modify. For example, until you don't have videos, you don't have to turn the video and audio section off. You can keep that off. Only when the time comes, you can turn that on, and then you can decide whether you want all of your members to be able to add content to it, or this functionality should be limited to the administrator of that site. Meanwhile, I can put if I want to get my own Google Analytics, I can put my Google Analytics ID in here and track the pages myself. And the other key element here is to decide whether you want your site to be public, private, or hidden. And public means everybody can see it, private means it requires registration, hidden means it's invitation only, and when you submit, all of those changes actually takes place. Now that I've edited the site and I've turned on the appropriate sections, I can take care of some of the aesthetic changes. For example, I want to use the edit page style to set up some of the coloring, the top, bottom coloring, the menu coloring. For example, here, instead of having this gray color at the top, let's say I actually want that color to be white. So I can change this to white, and if I went ahead and I save this, now you'll see that that color change and the grading basically becomes different. So I can use these tools to set up all of these different colors to fix and match exactly the kind of branding I want. Next, I can start working in the inside part. I can click on Edit Page Layout, and now you notice that each one of these sections end up with an editor. I can change the title of each section. I can change the colors that control the background, the font color, and I can force that color to be applied to every one of these sections inside my page. Another interesting thing is that I can lay out my screen using this tool. So for example, let's say the block control, I really want this to show up here in this sidebar, so I can actually drag this tool and place it here, and once I saved it, now the location of the blog will actually show up in the right column. So given the drag and drop tool, the WYSIWYG tools, I can now brand the site exactly the way I want it. To close the discussion about the authoring tool and tools that are needed to create your social media site, one other tool I want to highlight is what we call Edit HTML block. This allows you to arbitrarily put any code, any piece of text, content, picture, video in any part of this page, which comes very handy if you need to sponsor, add sponsorships, do different promotional items within your social media site. Here, for example, let's say I want to put a picture in the top right corner. I can click on Insert Edit Image. I basically have an image of LEDs that I want to insert in that corner. The picture, I remember it's called blue LED bulbs, and I can basically select that and insert it in there. I can adjust its size to be something that is a little bit smaller, and I can center this and I can save it, and the system will by default put the picture at the bottom. If I now go back and do Edit Page Layout and pick up this element here and move it the picture in the top right corner, and here it is, I can drop it there, and now when I save this, we basically have our picture there. This pretty much ends the presentation discussing how to set up a social media site. Now your site is ready, and your members can come in, can join your site. They can use the submit a posting whenever whichever section you allow your members to add their own contribution. They will have access to a submit button, and they can submit their own company information. They can submit their own items for sale, item for purchase, their own audio video, and of course for every section through the Edit This Site you can also block and make those sections be exclusively editable by the administrator of your company. If you have any questions, contact us on the website, and looking forward to hearing from you.